What's good, everybody? Hope you're having an amazing day, amazing night. I want to talk about free will and faded lifetimes. Free will and faded lifetimes, because that is very important. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. I'm just sharing this link onto my Facebook so we can have this conversation about it. All right. Hey, everybody. That's right. I am here. You are there. Y'all are everywhere. Sometimes I try my best to be on YouTube more than Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, what I'd like for you to do is just find your way to my YouTube channel. Yay! Just find your way to my YouTube channel. We're going to talk about free will and fate. Free will and fated lifetimes. And how did I get talking about it? How did the conversation come up? Well, when you I was having a conversation with a very intelligent person today, this rising, and you know, is a conversation about how do we know what is fated and what is free will. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust my mic so you can hear me, and tell me if you can hear me better. Can you guys hear me better now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? All right. Terribly sorry about that. I thought you guys could hear me, so let me adjust my mic so you could hear me even more stronger. Okay, that's a little echo. Is it still low? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Let me try my best to make sure you guys can hear me a little bit more. Listen, I can hear myself, okay? But when I can hear myself, I know you guys can hear me. So let me turn this one down. And turn this one up. All right, can you hear me better now? I know, I hear that echo too. So I'm gonna just change that. How about now? Can you hear me better? Is there still an echo? Is there still an echo? No? God damn it. All right, how about now? How about now? How about now? How about now? Damn, I sound like an engineer. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You know, all right, damn. I hope you can hear me better now. You know what? Everybody's like, can't hear me. It's echo. Can you hear me now? Tell me if you can hear me now. This is the crazy part about Facebook. All right. All right. Leave it there. Okay. You gonna hear a little echo, okay? Because that's how I talk sometimes. I talk echo, echo, echo. All right. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about free will and fate. Now, doing a lot of these past life regressions, most of the times you get some information. The information can be very, very clear, depending on who's laying in the chair, depending on how clairvoyant they are, how much fear they release from their subconscious mind, and able to get into information that we all can use. So, in this journey of doing these past life regressions and quantum healing, and also using astrology to validate their experience, what we realize is that lifetimes are like seesaws. You have one lifetime of free will where you develop certain things, and then the next lifetime you are reaping from what you sowed in that free will lifetime. So a lot of you are experiencing things in your life that seems to be so unavoidable. And you're saying to yourself, why is my life like this? Why is my life like this? Why am I experiencing this? And I couldn't help because we're supposed to be paying it forward when we're in our free will lifetime. When we're in our free will lifetime, we're here to build on another lifetime. But see, we are so caught up in our present lifetime that we take no note of future lifetimes. Because when you think about it, you know what is the real farce in this whole thing? Religion. Not all religion, but to some degree, Christianity. The reason why I mention that is because they have you to forget that there's something called future lifetimes or past lives or reincarnation. So your idea is that when you die, you go to hell. There's no thing, you just got to be judged and what have you. And that causes you to not focus on a future lifetime. You get what I'm saying? And in doing that, you are, you could be in a cycle of your free will life and thinking, everybody had this thing, YOLO, you only live once, so you do some dumb shit because you only live once. That's not true. That's not entirely true. With your consecutive lifetimes of free will and fated, free will, fated, free will, fated, you have to be careful of what lifetimes you're in. You see, the fated lifetimes can feel very heavy, and not only that. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is this: I'm not saying that your free will lifetime don't have fated moments, or your fated lifetime doesn't have free will moments, because they do. Are you guys still following me? Try to figure out if you're still following me. Still following me? All right. Are you still there? Can you hear me? Because I don't see nobody typing. Okay, there you go. Just want to make sure y'all are with me here. So when you look at the natal chart will tell you what area is free will and what is fated. And how you can tell which one is, what lifetime you're in, is the one that's the most dominant. The one that's the most dominant is what it will be. So if your planets in your chart are showing more free will moments, then you're in a free will lifetime. If your planets are showing more fixed houses and fixed signs, that is a fated lifetime. If your planets are in a mutable house, you know, then it is a free will lifetime. Y'all got it? If it's in a cardinal house, it is a free will lifetime. As a matter of fact, you have more free will lifetimes than fated. With more moments of free will than fated. Now let me explain that to you. Let me pull up a chart so you can look at what I'm looking at. So let's take a look at this chart here. So this person here, which is actually me, this person right here has their ascendant in Leo. Now Leo is a fixed sign, but the first house is a cardinal house. So that means, you know, most people who have their ascendant, their physical body, you could change it. You know, it changes. It's a free will house. So your physical avatar, you know, the way you present yourself can change depending on how you eat, your free will to either exercise or not exercise. So it's a free will house. It's a free will house. However, the sign is a fixed sign. All right? The second house is a what's going on here? So the second house is a free will sign, but the house is a fixed house. That is Mars, Saturn, North Node, Jupiter. All these things are fixed because it's in the fixed house. Now the second house, there's no sound again? Can't be no sound. Oh my gosh, this internet. It's terrible. All right, so I hope you guys can hear me. It's saying it's not receiving enough information. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? You know, sometimes YouTube they like to play around so much. All right. So back to the chart. As you can see, the second house of this chart has Mars, North Node, Jupiter, Saturn, and all these other asteroids. So this person has Virgo in the second house. Now Virgo is a mutable sign, which means that it has free will. So this person may have the idea of being, you know, free will. The only thing is, this is a fixed house. There's Mars there, Jupiter there, Saturn there, Dark Moon, Lilith there, North Node, and all these other asteroids sitting in the second house. Now this means that this person has the free will, because of the sign, to make money or to do things with their money. The experience around money and self-worth is very flexible. The third house has Libra on it. And Libra is a cardinal sign, and Pluto there is a fixed planet. So when you look at this sign, the house itself is a mutable house and a cardinal sign. So this person, their way of communication, their relationship with their siblings, the way they travel, meaning the kind of cars they could drive, or just their way of thinking, is very much mutable. It's free will. It's free will. All right. Their fourth house has Scorpio in it, which is a fated sign, and this is a cardinal house. So this person has a fated moment. Their father, because the sun represents the father along with Saturn, would have experienced some form of loss or death in connection. And not only that, the father's sibling may also have died, which is me, which is my uncles. Two of them that died similar. My uncle died right before my father, maybe a few months. And you can see the Mercury is conjunct the sun. And then you have Uranus there. So this is a fixed sign. So this person's home and their family and circumstances were fated. The fifth house, which is the house of free will, has a mutable sign on it, which is Sagittarius. However, it's in a fixed house. So remember now, let's go to the beginning. Cardinal, free will. Fixed house, fixed or fated. This is a mutable house, free will. So I would like to say that the mutable plays a sort of a role of being in between fixed and fated, because it can flex between both the fated and the fixed. I mean, fated and free will. So this is free will, fated, flexible. Free will, fated, flexible. Free will, 7th house. Fated, the 8th house. Flexible, 9th house. Free will, fated, free will, fated, flexible, mean mutable houses. So this person has a mutable sign in a fixed house. So this is a fixed experience. Their relationship with connections with people are sort of fixed. There are free will moments, but it's still a fixed house for this person, which is me, as you know. The 6th house, which has Capricorn on it, and Capricorn is a cardinal sign, and it's on a mutable house. So there is a free will when it comes to health circumstances. The health isn't guaranteed unless they put effort into it. Now this is a free will house, but a fixed sign. And this fixed sign meaning that, like marriage for me, partnership, long-term commitments are fixed, are fated. So as you can see, we're going with the signs. Free will, fated. Fated, flexible. Then you got the free will again, the flexible, fated, and free will mixed in that. Then you got the fated, flexible, the free will, and free will. So flexible. So basically, this person is in a lifetime of a both mixture of flexible and free will because of the signs on it. Let's just say, and let me give you another example so you can understand what I mean. I'm going to give somebody else's chart so we can talk about it. All right, so let me give another chart so you can take a look at what I mean by that. So I'm gonna go on to my Janus and pull up somebody's chart. We're gonna take a look at the chart. As a matter of fact, why don't one of you I'm gonna use one of you. Why don't one of you give me your date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth? And let's take a look and see if your lifetime right now is a fated one or a free will one. Marilyn. All right, Marilyn said me first, so I'll take a look at Marilyn's chart. All right, let me look. I think I have your chart in. I only have over 100 something thousand charts. So if you see me take a long time to find yours, it's because I'm still searching. All right, Miss Marilyn Perry. I actually got you right here. So let's take a look at your chart. So let's take a look at your chart, Marilyn. Let me make this a little wider. And looking at your chart, your first house has Scorpio on it. As you can see, your ascendant is in Scorpio. That means that, it's like I told you, it's a free will house, but you have a fixed sign on it, which means that, your first impression on people is sort of fixed. They just gonna see you a particular way. Most people are Scorpio risings. There is a fixed notion about how people see you. You can't change that. No matter how much you try, it's just fixed. People either gonna love you or hate you. There's no in between. And that's why the Scorpio is a fixed sign on your first house. And the first house represents your first impression on people. It represents, your subconscious mask you wear for people. So people either love you or hate you. There's no in between. So that's a fixed house. Your physical body, your first impression on people, fixed. Your second house has Sagittarius on it, which is supposed to be a fixed house. But you have a mutable sign there, which is Sagittarius. Now you have all these placements in the second house. Now, like I told you before, all these placements in Sagittarius, the second house, rules money, assets, finances. Like I said, you do very well in another country. You will do very well because Sagittarius rules other places, other countries, other cultures, and you would literally feel at home in a different country, a different culture, different walk of life. So this is a free will house for you because you have a mutable, meaning it could either be fixed or free will. It could flow. It is a mutable sign. So your money is mutable. You ain't fixated to be a rich person. It's according to the moves that you make that will turn you into a rich person because of the sign that's sitting in the second house. Now you have your third house, which has Capricorn on it, which is a cardinal sign. And the third house is also a mutable house. So this is a free will house for you. That's communication, the kind of car you drive, the way, your intellectual capacity. These things are literally connected. And free will is the order for this for you. This also is connection with your siblings. That means it's a free will. It isn't fated to connect with your siblings or, your cousins or what have you. That's a free will. This area of your life is fixed, which is Aquarius, which means that your home, because the fourth house represents the home, is fixed on being Aquarian. Like you like to say, the hippie, or always in constant motion, change, revolutionary. Most Scorpio risings, according to what sign the Uranus is, would have this person to move around a lot. Now your home, which is represented by the fourth house, and Aquarius on it. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And your Uranus is in a mutable sign in the sign of Sagittarius, which means that your home that you were born in isn't really your home. Your home is in another country, another culture, which will in turn bring you money because the second house rules money. So you're going to feel a sense of loss, a sense of not being financially stable once you're staying in your home, the place that you were born, the country that you were born. So your home is in a fixed state of constant motion. You're supposed to move. That is a fixed notion, and it's connected to your money. Your fifth house, which is the fixed house, has a mutable sign on it, and this represents your relationship. But see, wherever North Node is, tells me about, that you are in a free will to fulfill your purpose. A free will moment, a moment of going between fixed and free will because of Pisces. And Pisces is not a fated sign. Now, it's still connected to, past lives and what have you. So your romantic relationships have a free will connection to it. The only thing is, wherever North Node is, sort of creates a fixed notion. So it's going to feel as if it's fixed, but you also have free will. So this is a house for free will for you. Your sixth house, which has Aries on it, in an immutable house, is free will. So your health, work is very much connected to free will. Free willy. So this means that the work that you put into your health is not fixed. Your health is literally in your hands. You can change it. Your seventh house, which is the house of marriage and romantic relationship, is in a fixed sign. A fixed sign. So your long-term relationships are fixed. Your romantic relationships, the ones that are fun and short, are free will. But your long-term relationships is fixed. It's a fixed sign. Your eighth house, which is the house that's fixed, has a mutable sign on it. And this deals with other people's money, other people's resources, that sort of thing. And as you can see, other people's money, resources, taxes, bills, things that are, mysterious, mystical, is connected to the eighth house. So this is a fixed house, but your sign here is a mutable one. And it's ruled by Mercury. And your Mercury is in Sagittarius, in the second house. So you can be able to, connect with money or other people's money through living in a different country. Movement from a different country. So it's a free will moment. You have free will with that. Eighth house is a cardinal sign and a mutable house. So even your philosophy, your spirituality, is free will. Your career is fixed. The thing is, though, the sign Leo is a fixed house. A fixed sign. It's a fixed sign. As you see, you have your MC there, you have your moon there, Vesta, Sapo, and Dark Moon Lilith. The thing is, though, Leo is ruled by the sun. And your sun is in Sagittarius in the second house. Basically, when it comes to your career is based upon you moving and living in a different country. Moving and living in a different country. People like you do way better in a country that is different than your own. This could be, America, Canada, any area, any country in the world other than the place that you were born. So you're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel as if you're not doing what you're supposed to do because of that same fixed notion. Your sun which is conjunct Eros, and conjunct Saturn, which represents responsibility restriction, will restrict you until you make that movement. Your 11th house is a fixed house, but it has a free will, a mutable sign on it, which means that your friends and associates are not fated. They're free will. You can choose. There's no friends that are fixated to be in your life or associates that you don't want them to be in. And your 12th house has a cardinal sign, which is a free will sign. As you can see, that's a lot. I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm trying to make sense of it for you. I'm trying to make sense of it for you. Oh, snap. Wait. Oh, yeah, there you go. So I hope that was very I explained that for you in a way that you could receive that. Okay? All right? So we are in a constant dance based upon your chart, in a constant dance of free will and fated in different areas of your life. Star 207 said, what if you don't have any signs in your first or second house? You do have a sign in it. Who told you? Every house has a sign. What people mistake is planets, and there's no empty houses. There's no such thing as an empty house. There's an asteroid or a planet within the universe that is sitting in that sign. There's no such thing as an empty house. Don't let nobody fool you with that. Other astrologers love to tell you that, and those ones who are not educated will literally regurgitate that you have empty house is a problem. That's not true. Okay? There's no such thing as an empty house. Now, Lynn Trice, let's take a look at yours. I think I have your chart too. Lyn. Let's take a look. If I could find your chart, we'll get to it. If not, you gotta forgive me. Okay, so we do have your chart. And your chart is up. Let me share it with you so you can see what I mean. Okay, so this is your chart, Lynn Trice. Let me move this over so I can be able to see you speaking. All right. So looking at you, Lynn, your first house has Cancer on it. That is a cardinal sign in a cardinal house. This is a free will house, which means that you have the capability. But when we look, let's take a look and see where your moon is. And your moon is in a mutable sign in a mutable house, which means that your body, your physical body, you have your impression on people is not fixed. It's not. It's literally dependent on how you, the work you put in to your first impression on people. All right? It's basically your work, the work you put in to either impressing a person or, people that are gonna love you or hate you. Your second house, which represents your money, has Leo on it. And in Leo, it's a fixed sign, and the second house is a fixed house, which means that your money can be fixed. Now let's take a look at where your money's at. Your Leo is run by your sun, and your sun is in the sign of Pisces. In the ninth house, that's mutable. The thing is, though, it's a fixed house and a fixed sign. So your money is sort of like, as some people say, basically, you're set. your assets, your money, your people like you won't end up in the poorhouse or won't end up, what's the word I want to use? You will always be taken care of by the universe financially without you having to put in any that much work, basically, right? Based upon that being a fixed house with a fixed sign on it. Your third house is the mutable sign, I mean, mutable house is a mutable sign on it. Oh, yeah, so like I said, the second house is what most people really want to know about in their whole chart. They go around the whole. There are two areas that people care about when it comes to charts, and that's the money and love. They're like, where the money and where the love, you know. That's just how it is. And the second house tells me that you are sort of fated through your career because your MC represents career, and your sun, which is the ruler of your second house, is conjunct your MC, right? So when it comes to your second house, your money, is fixated on your career, and you're basically, you're set. You ain't got money to worry about. Y'all are the ones who, at some point has retirement fund, got pension. When everybody worried about how they're gonna, how the rest of their life is going to be financially, you should not have to worry about that. Third house, which deals with the siblings, your communication, your sense of short distance travel, the kind of car you drive, has a mutable sign and it's a mutable house. Which means that, the kind of car you drive is not fixed, the kind of relationship you have with your sibling is not, the work that you put in, the free will, your free will with your siblings. Now remember now, when it comes to free will, whatever you're putting forward, whatever you're doing in this lifetime, you will reap the benefit of it in the next lifetime. So whatever your relationship is with your siblings that you did not put into it, you are going to reap the responsibility of your actions with your siblings in the next lifetime. Okay? You are going to reap the responsibility of what you put out for your siblings, the kind of car you drive, the way you communicate and talk. So if I was you, I'd be careful about how not careful, but, be responsible with the words that come out of your mouth, how you talk to people, how you communicate. Because Virgo is a sign that deals with, critiquing. You could place yourself in a position in the next lifetime to be critiqued by other persons. Does it make sense what I'm saying to you? Just want you to understand that. All right? Your fourth house, which is the house of the home, has a cardinal sign on it. Now, I didn't mention this the last time, but wherever Pluto is and Saturn, there are levels of fated experiences. Even though it's free will, it isn't completely free will. There are moments of fate because Pluto and Saturn represents karma. But you have the free will to, you know, to deal with your home and family. The thing is, you have Uranus and Pluto in your fourth house of home. But Libra, unbeknown to what people think, a lot of people think based upon them teaching and learning astrology, feel, been taught that Venus rules Libra. But that's not entirely true based upon my studies. Juno rules Libra because Juno is this house, the asteroid that rules partnership, marriage, relationship, maintenance of one's rights or position with others, questions of rights, fairness and compromise, enforcement of fairness, potential for scorekeeping, jealousy, fears of abandonment, and infidelity tallying. All of that is connected to the seventh house. So this right here tells me about free will. And because you have Aquarius, which rules, sudden changes, revolutionary experiences, rebelliousness. This shows that there's mass disruption with the family. The Uranus there, Pluto there, that's fated on. So this is showing that. Fated experiences, but still, because it's sitting in the ruler, is sitting in a fixed house and a fixed sign, it gives this a fated moment, fated experiences with the home of disruption and karma. So this is fated. Your fifth house, which represents your romantic relationships, your children, is a fixed house in a fixed sign. So that means that, so Lynn, you have any kids? Because according to this, that's fixed. All right? So your romantic relationships, your children, they were fated. They are fated in your life. There's not much free will when it comes to that. Okay? There ain't much free will. They're fated. Every person that's been in your life is fated. Your daughter, you say you have one daughter. Fated. You ain't got to worry about that. It's fated to have that one daughter. You don't know. Most people, when I do past life regressions, they would have free will to have 5 and 6, or there may be or. When you notice that when I do these past life regressions, I ask them, how many kids? It say 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Right. So your sixth house, which is the house of health, is a mutable sign in a mutable house. Think about it. So that means when it comes to work and service in your health, it's very, very much mutable. It's free will. You got a lot of free will stuff going on. The only thing is, though, that North Node in Sagittarius sort of makes it fated to be, to travel to different countries, to be a teacher, an educator of higher education. That's the fated moment. The thing is, though, because Moon is there and Moon is very flexible, it's where it's going to take place. That is free will. So there's a level of fatedness because of the North Node, but also free will to where it's going to take place. Your marriage, which is represented by the 7th house, has Capricorn on it. Capricorn is a free will, or I would say a cardinal sign, and this is a cardinal house. So even your marriage was free will. I know you'd be like, but I had my child with my husband. That don't mean that because you had your child with your husband, if that was the case, that your child was fated to be with your husband, or you had to have a husband to have your child. That was something that you probably put on yourself, because according to your chart, you had a free will to have that child with a different person other than just your husband. So you had the free will of using a different DNA for your child. But that soul chose that avatar. And this is why, some people have children, they're born children, and there's not a soul to that child. The child end up, stillbirth, or the child just doesn't last after being born. These are moments where the free will of that person, the soul would be like, you know what, I don't really want that avatar to use. So I'm not going to use that baby, that vessel, that body to be on earth. So that's a free will moment. And it goes on and on and on. Your philosophy, spirituality is free will. Your 10th house is a free will house. Your 11th house, which represents your friends, is a fated house and a fated sign. And you have it, the ruler of your 11th house, in a fixed house, in a fixed sign, which means that your friends and associates are pretty much not necessarily free willed. You've sort of been fated to have those people in your life. So even if you try to shake them off, maybe they were fated to be shaken off. But other than that, they were fated. So when I look at your chart, you have a mixture of a free will and fated life. This is a I would say a 50-50. I didn't say some of them I wonder why they're here. Oh, well, you already know why. Venus in Aquarius in your eighth house, they're here to transform your life for some apparent reason. All right? That's just how it is. Your Mars is in Gemini in the 12th house. And just like your, damn, that's crazy. Most of the men inside your life were, you know, from previous lifetimes, for sure. And your South Node conjunct your Saturn, and Saturn representing karma. You know, it's sort of a karmic. So you turn a free will house by Saturn being there and South Node being there into something that was into fated, something that's fated. So there's a leaning towards being having a fated lifetime. So if I was to assess your chart, I would say that you have a dance of different areas of fated and free will. However, it's leaning towards a free will lifetime for you. This is a free will lifetime for you. Just, be careful of how you deal and use that. Because this is a free will life. All your decisions you make in this lifetime, you are going to reap the rewards of that in the next lifetime. We say if you need to chill out, maybe so. Maybe you do need to chill out. That's totally up to you. Totally up to you. So, like I talk about, you can always tell the areas that's fated and free will in people's lives. Some of y'all be like, I should have never met that guy. I should have never slept with him. Some of y'all dudes be like, I should have never met that bitch. And all of it, to be real with you, you don't even know if it's free will or fated. You take a look at your chart, it's going to tell you a little bit more. You're going to be like, oh, God damn it, I could not escape it. This was a part of what I came to do. All right? Because I know some of y'all be crying like, God damn, why I had to have this baby daddy? Why did I have to have this? Some of y'all cause it on your own damn self. Your higher self is in spirit world like, you know what? I should just let this egotistical bitch just choose her own shit. Since she in a free will lifetime, she want to just go after men who got money. All right, Trick, I got you. Poof. There you go. Now you got a baby daddy. And that baby daddy may not have the best set of genes, so now there could be some complication with your kid because the only thing you was worried about was getting that bag. Stop acting like y'all don't be doing, like y'all don't be saying that. That's exactly the kind of stuff that y'all would say. Be real. Some of y'all would be like, you know what? I ain't trying to be no broke dude, but I'm gonna tell you this. And this is straight against the topic. I'll say this though. Women, majority of women like to classify men when they're not, you know, following their rules or regulations. Dogs. But I'm going to tell you this. Y'all going to get real mad at me. But women dogs do not choose the weakest men to sleep with. They choose the most powerful out of the men that are, when they're on heat, to have a baby with. They don't want no weak men. So when men say, when women say that men are dogs, men could literally say that some women are bitches. Because a woman dog is a bitch. No disrespect. And they choose their the most powerful of those male dogs to sleep with in order to reprocreate. Sounds crazy, but it's facts. So I never say a soul is an animal. That's okay, lady, because we got spirit animals anyway. Your soul evolved from single cell up through the animal chain, plant and animal chain, to being a human being. So, I mean, you're not offending anybody. How much times women be calling their friends bitches? Like, bitch, come on here, girl. And how much time dudes be calling, hey, dog, what's up, dog? Dog, what up, dog? Y'all be calling each other animals anyway. I don't detect any lies there. I detect no lies. But no, and that's the thing, So free will and fated are literally parts of your life. Like you could tell which lifetime you are mostly in. There's a free will, and there are different areas that are fixed in your life. Some of you have a very stable life. Some of y'all got a very hard life when it comes to money because in the past lifetime, you didn't treat money well. You felt as if you didn't have enough. You felt as if you either, did you made a vow of poverty in your free will life. All these things you have to realize, all right? You have to realize that you could be in a free will lifetime or a fated lifetime. And if that's the case, if that is the case, stop being angry with yourself. How would you know? Learn astrology. Do a past life regression. Do a quantum healing. Figure out why you're going through what you're going through. Figure out if it's something you can change. Because you got some people, they be doing money spells up their asses. I'm talking about money spell here, money spell there. They got a vision board there, and they got so and so. And for some apparent reason, ain't shit happening. You try to figure out why. I'm a god, I'm a goddess. Oh no. See, your higher self, your oversoul is sitting in spirit world saying, oh, check out that little ego. Trying to change the circumstances that I put her in. Me, the oversoul, the real person behind this video game of life, put her in that circumstance so she could learn something because of a past life that she did, and check her out. All kind of money spell of ass. She even got money on her socks, money on her drawers. Her desk is painted with money on it. When she go on a laptop, there's dollar bills everywhere. But Is that the ego or the higher self? Trying to change that. And if it is the ego, then the ego should know that if they are in a free will life or fated one. See, that's important. Mimi Bree, that's a very, very good point. So, I know a lot of y'all want to know where the money is. Where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money, where the money, where the money reside. So, we're going to share it. So you're going to be able to see where the money resides. For Lynn Trice, the money resides in spirituality, higher education. Based upon the sun being in the ninth house, this goes the moments of living inside a different country, different culture, different walk of life. Sitting inside of Pisces that rules spirituality, oneness, connectedness, source, God, whatever you want to say. Showing that your money resides in that area of life because the sun rules your second house. It rules your second house. What'd you say? Chastity. Um, Ray Gerard. Oh, that's Ray. Oh shit. All right, Ray. You want me to take a look at your stuff? You want to know where the money resides? Astrology is such a very, I would say, let's take a look. I can't see it. Oh, that's why. Because your name ain't S. I got to look for your real name, not your little nickname. I got to look for your real name. I know a lot of you like, okay, do me, do me, do me. You know, as you can see, there is a lot of charts that I have on my stuff. This is, I can't do you. All right, here you go, here you go. All right, Ray Gerard. You, just like, um, just like Marilyn, have your Sun, your Neptune, your Mars, your Mercury sitting in the second house. Can't stress it any longer, anymore. You would do way better in a foreign country, a foreign culture, a different walk of life, different area. You would actually do very well living in a different country as opposed to just yourself in the United States of America. You're going to struggle in the States. It's going to feel like a struggle. You're going to struggle because of that. All right? But because Sagittarius rules foreign places, foreign cultures, foreign countries, and you have your sun sitting there, and your 10th house has Leo on it, and Jupiter's there, that means that your Jupiter is subject to your sun, which is Sagittarius in the second house. So basically, just like y'all two have the same thing going on. You know, living in a different country, different culture, different walk of life. But do you way better. All right? All right. Yeah. I think think I covered most of that. Okay, so like we were talking about free will and fated, it just goes to show that your life, you have to be conscious of exactly what lifetime you're in or what area is fated. You know, throwing up all these money spells. Who's to say that that's what your higher self wants? Because some of those money spells be ego driven. They be left brain shit. I'm gonna be real with you. Now, if the higher self has it aligned to change the circumstances, because the only thing that the soul wants is growth. It's the only thing it wants. The ego wants comfort. It wants softness. It wants just to be comfortable. So every time I think about it and I see people, I see them, I'm in a lot of different Facebook groups, and I be listening. I be listening. I be looking at, girl, you better do this money spell because it's gonna work. And sis be sending that $50, $20 to get her ritual done. Let me tell you something. Unless it's a collective of people, a collective of souls coming together, and if that is a fixed notion that your higher self created, the only time that that higher self would surrender is to a collective of souls coming together. It ain't coming together for the ego. It's coming together for the collective. See, I ain't mind for them trying. Well, me either. I just try to educate it. Don't feel upset. Don't get depressed if it's different. If you don't achieve what the ego wants. And make no mistake, it's the ego. And it's okay. The ego is not a bad thing. But if it's not aligned with what the higher self, the soul wants, then the soul will be looking at the ego like, oh, that's what you thought. Who the bigger boss here? I'm the bigger boss. I may be quiet, but I run in the background. The ego is loud. The soul is quiet and powerful. Remember that. All right? Like you say, Mimi Bree, yes, you're right. And what you say, Numera, thank you. Thank you. Numero uno. If y'all know, that's the incredible IA. Right. Like I say, y'all, I hope I educated you on some information that you needed to know. And if you didn't know, oh, first and foremost, I want to announce that starting after I come from Canada, because I'll be in Canada from the 1st of August until the 5th of August, doing quantum healing sessions in Canada. When I get back, though, I will be revamping my YouTube channel. and this will be only to members only. I am personally going to be teaching astrology only to my members, and especially to the cosmic souls. And if you don't know, that's $50 a month. I'm going hard in teaching to my members. It's going to be astrology, one-on-one with Astro. As you know, I have a whole school, but I don't. I'm only teaching the expert level, but I'm also going to be teaching my particular um, members who are cosmic souls. All right, so y'all gonna get a whole lot more from me. Keisha, can you? Oh yes, I called your name. I called your name. Yeah. Keisha, can you do me a favor? Can you put the link to so people can become members? Because after this, y'all won't get a lot of these public. Y'all can get one or two public, videos, but I'm going hard with my members. I realize that a lot of my members have, you know, canceled their subscription because I was on Facebook giving away free things, but that's for my free will. That's me paying it forward. Now I'm paying it forward to the people who paid it forward to me. So we're gonna teach you how to read your chart, and we're starting from scratch. We're gonna be doing it for an hour every single video. So we're gonna start from scratch. I'm gonna start from the building blocks of astrology and moving all the way up. All right? Just want to announce that. And I'm gonna make y'all some real expert readers of your chart. You're gonna be able to look at your charts of your children and your potential lovers. And you can be like, hey, hold up now. You done did some shit I could see from your chart. But that will start, which is 2 weeks from now. So if you don't know, if I was you, I would sign in now. All my members, you are going to get, you're going to be able actually, and once out of the week, I'm actually going to do a Zoom where you're going to be on my YouTube, on my Zoom, being able to talk, and we're going to go over teaching the building blocks of astrology. All right, y'all? It's going to be awesome. Y'all going to love it. Y'all going to be way better at reading your charts because I won't skip anything. I'm starting from scratch. That means if you did not know anything about astrology, the chart, that circle thing, if you didn't know anything about that, you feel lost. You feel as if you don't know what that is. You feel like you're speaking French, Portuguese, Spanish. Then if I was you, I'd become a member. Become a cosmic tribe member. Don't look for it if you're just a mature soul or an old soul or even astral soul. Nah, we going straight to the cosmic souls. Y'all are the ones that are going to know astrology. All right? So it's been an hour and 9 minutes. I poured into y'all. Now you know, and you have the ability to know if you're in a free will lifetime or a fated lifetime. And also, you won't be able to see me on Facebook. I only make my posts there, but I won't be doing much lives on Facebook. It's YouTube now, baby. You know I go through phases, and this phase right now is YouTube for the year. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe. I want to first and foremost thank every single person who have been a member, who have been pouring into this right here, this guy right here. So I could be in front of you and do this. As you can see, Alyssa Shine been here for 16 months. Is that Deja? Songbird been here for 13 months. 19 months. Right? Y'all been here long, so we gonna hit this. So y'all, like I said, hit the like button. Thank you for watching. Even though it shows 73 people, it shows that 460 persons viewed this video, which is pretty cool. That means that you are learning. I'd like to thank you for being here. You know, you could have been anywhere, but you choose to be here with me. I appreciate you. I can't wait to start with you. We may do some sessions while we're in Canada. We're going to do it only with my members. Only with my members. Okay? I'm being very exclusive now. Exclusive! All right, y'all. Y'all be safe.